What a week it's been for DC fans. Not only do we have a bevy of ads on the daily for the new Superman movie, the best comic book movie of the year and potentially, more than likely, the best Superman movie ever. No shade at all to any of the ones prior. It's just we have a different type of hitter on this one, truthfully. Just need to not die for a couple more days. Of course, there will always be those that are, well, I'd like to call perennial bitchers. Oh, you misinterpret a moment and stretch out a non-issue to make it seem more existent than it actually is? For what again? By all means, that's your waste of time-ass prerogative. Me? Not so much. I'm bathing in Superman's splendor, but everyone is allowed an opinion. You know, some people held an opinion that the Batman Part 2 would be canceled. Some even decided to proliferate the dumb bitch thought that Gunn was responsible for the delay, even when he said things to the contrary on multiple occasions. And to get off Matt Reeves' nuts, which is a baller-ass move, and your boss sticking up for you is unfortunately a very rare thing, but of course, I would expect this only from the unemployed-ass mofos that are spouting it. Of course, the script was announced to be finished in total swagged fashion, and I can't, but we'll have no choice to wait to 2027, but waiting for peak is the most noble act, well, maybe second most noble. But we're talking about a different type of DC now, which is the absolute universe, and more specifically, our big, brolic, triple C thick stuffed crust bitch with the cheese pull apart. You know him, you love him, absolute Batman. Now, I covered the first issue this past October, and I really liked it. Scott Snyder on Batman can really do no wrong. He is that guy when it comes to Batman for me. Nick Dragotta has done most of the art for the series, and Frank Martin has done most of the colors, which both aspects are immaculate. We've since gotten 8 more issues after that, and the 10th issue is just around the corner, so we're just gonna go through the time that has elapsed and talk about these books and the absolute state of absolute Batman. So we pick up with issue 2, or part 2 of the Zeus storyline, which I also just refer to as the absolute origin. Like during the first arc in those first 6 issues, we see what absolute Batman is all about, his core tenets, how he became the way he is, and the contrast between him and the mainline Batman. Alfred has been studying him further, his routine, watching him work, and finding out how he's as brilliant as he is brutal. He's prepared for almost anything, it seems. He's 6'6", 260, flipping onto the damn ceiling, burning mofos' toes off, and getting his ass to work the very next morning. Blue collar Batman is hella inspiring, and that Batman fire and determination seems to permeate the multiverse, as this Batman, well, is Batman as fuck. We see through the conversation between Martha Wayne and Jim Gordon how deeply his father's sacrifice affected Bruce. I love how they made his core villains his childhood lifelong friends, and just seeing their rapport with each other is so damn good. It's interesting to see how much they might be able to accomplish working together. Riddler being the brains, Oswald being tapped into the underworld of Gotham, Wayland being the muscle and just kind of the rock of the group, and Harvey being intertwined at the political level. So the money aspect of Batman being supplanted with his more intimate connection with the city, being the everyman that he is, you know, everyday everyman Batman is so endearing. He gets tipped off by Harvey about this golden chest that Hill, the guy running against Gordon for mayor, has access to. So he does some digging and he finds out about this golden chest, the Ark, like the Ark of the Covenant containing the 10 Commandments, the Ark M holding different types of treasures from a different type of god, perhaps? Also, Ark M, Arkham, really, Scott? I love you so much, dude. He's just having fun. But Roman catches Batman and extends a deal to him if he survives and sicks the party animals on him, but he's absolutely just built different and escapes with Alfred in the absolute Batmobile, the perma-bulked 4,000 calorie surplus Batmobile. You know, this is the whole point of comics right here. You don't have to abide by the laws of physics or reality, so if you're not bending or breaking them, then what the fuck are you doing? In issue 3, we get a bit more backstory on absolute Selena Kyle, and then as well on Roman Sionis, the Black Mask, and what the arcs are. And they are these black sites, these private prisons where all manner of horrible things are taking place off the record by this company called JK Holdings. I wonder who that could belong to. I like the through line of this book because it's Bruce being stubborn as the little guy and going up against the big guy, the plutocracy, okay? Alfred tries to tell him he has to try and reason with these people by accepting the deal from Black Mask, which will not only make being Batman way easier with all that beautiful $200 million in capital to spend on all manner of bat toys, which would help them catch Sionis down the line and get Alfred the hell out of Gotham, but Bruce is a bit resistant. You know, Eddie's AI Al is letting him know that the mask exists to set value targets and is a wallet for a cryptocurrency called Black Coin, better than the coin I invested in, something Sionis is using to encourage the chaos at a local level, and Alfred just emphasizing how much is going up against him until he gets a little pep talk from his mother when he initially wanted her to lay low because of the chaos, but she refuses. She said that she wouldn't just watch while all this chaos ensued. She will do what she can to help, even if the odds are insurmountable. You try anyway. Working class Hope Corps, we'd love to see it. And he ends up telling Sionis he accepts the deal. Issue 4 is straight up Absolute Origin, showing us the absolute Batman Begins, basically where he was rocking fangs and he was figuring out how to Batman, and it intercuts with flashbacks of Bruce and his father and him refining the Bat Bridge project that he made for the Young Engineers competition that got him to the zoo on that fateful day. But the theme I'd say in this issue was reflection, stripping away the surface to get to the core of the matter through trial and error. You're never really gonna know unless you try, and I'm not talking first try, I'm talking repeated tries, learning from each attempt until you have a more perfect thing. That's what Bruce does, and he builds this insanely adaptable and portable bridge because he stops focusing on the bridge and on the core, which is people in need. A bridge they could use and adjust and not have to wait for the powers that be to move or set up the bridge for them. They could save themselves. You know, you're putting the power in the hands of the people. Eventually bringing that to his Batman, defying the odds like the crazy animal that inspired the build. Scott Snyder is writing the most amazing working class Hope Corps here. A Batman that has one of the hugest aspects of Batman, his wealth, stripped away, yet the core, the most important part, remains intact, the Batman part. And that's perfectly exemplified in issue 5, where he takes all the money Sionis transfers to him and burns it on the zoo memorial light, you know, the absolute bat signal. He says all he needs is Batman, and he starts lighting mofos up. That is until they light his ass up too, literally, and knock him off the damn building. The action and the art in this was impeccable. Black Mask actually went hard here because he basically told the people of Gotham everything is fucked. The big guys ate all the food and left you nothing but scraps that you are tricked into slaving around for. And he drops the crates of weapons and masks for the citizens of Gotham to participate in this wicked chaos game. And people do so in the culmination of this, the zoo arc. They're putting on the mask, picking up guns, checking people's monetary power levels, and running the bag up. Martha Wayne and Jim Gordon are protecting one of the caches on principle. Black Mask might have been spitting bars, but he was also part of the problem. Gotham in chaos also helps line the rich's pockets and hurts the people on the ground. The way they win is to not play. Keep your integrity and act in beautiful ways, players. Batman has Oz drop him into the party animal ship, and this is where we got one of the most iconic and will eventually be inducted into the meme hall of fame, but the fuck them kids kick by Absolute Batman. I mean, the kid deserved it, truthfully, but he gets on there and starts beating the dog shit out of Roman, and Roman lets him know he doesn't know what he just started. You know, the dominoes he's knocked over, but he's able to blow up the local server, so the masks all stop working, no more purge, and that's all overlaid by his mother's wise words, using pain to win against nightmares. Honestly, loving all this gritty Hope Corps. Like, this is exactly what I need, and I know many other people need, with the epilogue being of what looks like Joker in some damn architect room with a blood baby on him hailing Bane. I just know Scott is cooking up something devious here, but that was the first domino in this grand story. Our next arc we get in issue 7 and 8 with Absolute Zero. This is when Nick Dragotta and Frank Martin took a break, and we got the sensational Marcos Martin and Munza Vicente on the art and colors, and they did an outstanding job. Essentially, a month after the Black Mask incident, martial law was instated, Hill became mayor, and the vibe in Gotham is dangerous. Bruce is trying to get onto the crew that's building the Arkham site, and that's where we're introduced to another member of the OG crew, Matches Malone, which is actually one of Batman's alter egos he would use to infiltrate the Gotham underworld, which is interesting how exactly they're using him here, because Matches Malone's whole purpose is to get Bruce on that black site, but he spent time on the crew himself and lets Bruce know how crazy it is. But before he could go on, he suddenly got Swiss cheese, frightening the shit out of Bruce. But basically, the mini arc here intercuts with the gang mourning Matches and confronting Bruce about his Batmaning, but basically he finds information on Matches' phone leading to Dr. Victor Freeze, so he heads to the office for his company, where he discovers that the building is pulling so much power because it's freezing a bunch of Gotham's elite in there so that they can be revived when cures exist for them, as well as that's where the bacterium came from that was in the snowstorm, and that's what killed Matches. And Victor Jr. is like a White Walker, and he transforms into Mr. Freeze, captures Bruce Bruce. So in issue 8, he's got Bruce strapped down looking like a burly ass for all season Superman and is about to deep freeze him. And in this freeze, you can actually still feel pain. So it's basically hell on earth. No Avatar or Austin Powers type shit. You exist as agony. Bruce's only shot is his cast, which now that I think about it is very guts coded, which is very Batman when you think about it. Essentially, the core of this mini arc, Absolute Zero, is the gang confronting Bruce about him heading in the same direction as Matches. Matches was a daredevil because he never got past the guilt of having Thomas Wayne go back for him, and he purposefully put himself in danger because he felt he had absolutely zero reasons to live. I like how they address this angle with Batman where he can kind of just be putting himself out there in this aggressive way without a second thought of his own well-being, almost like it's more of a death wish than it is some crusade for vengeance or justice. But I love how Wayland brings everything back by saying that Thomas's death isn't what made him a hero, it was his life. That's just pure bars right there. So Bruce was able to escape the cryo freeze, confront Mr. Freeze and his elite Draugrs, and decide that he will choose life. You are never down to zero, you can choose to live, players. And please do. I really do love Scott Snyder, man. It was revealed that Freeze orchestrated the snowstorm and he embedded his bacterium in it, which he was able to pull data from whoever the snow touched, which he is relating that data to some unknown figure. And the issue ends with some mofos knocking out Wayland and checking his blood. And of course, we know his fate. We know the Croc is coming, but I guess this is how the Absolute version of it happens, which Absolute Killer Croc is going to be so damn gnarly. Just like this next mofo we see in the Abomination arc, which is the arc I'm currently going through in real life. But in issue 9, Absolute Bane, you think Absolute Batman is a triple C thick stuffed crust bitch with cheese pull apart? Well, Absolute Bane is that and then some. This isn't just a calorie surplus, okay? This is a calorie slut. But the issue opens with Bane totally unraveling a peace deal between Kahndaq, Black Adam Land, and Korak. He's under the employment of JK Holdings, and I'm assuming the Joker from the epilogue we got at the end of the Zoo arc. So there is some insane global plan that Absolute Joker is machinating. Meanwhile, Bruce is laying an absolute beatdown on the Gotham underworld. Since Wayland was taken, Bruce has been tearing up the block, so much so that they're peddling mofos to the ER. Absolute Dick Grayson. Hey, would you look at that? But Batman teams up with Absolute Barbara Gordon and finds out they took Wayland to Arc M. He regroups with the crew to find out how far back Arc M really goes, and JK Holdings for that matter, which is since the 30s. So again, something far ago was put into place that Batman is going to unravel and discover. We get to see the Absolute Bat and the Cat in a post back shot, maybe front shot, flashback with hella bands on the bed, but I guess this was thrown in here just so we would remember Selina is still there and to emphasize Bruce's relationship with Wayland and why he's going so hard to find him. But as Bruce dives deeper onto the site, we get Alfred's inner monologue revealing him knowing of the deeper, darker matters at hand. That's when Bruce finds the real Arc M, and it's this enormous, almost underground maze, hella ominous and almost even liminal. But Alfred's inner monologue is suggesting he knows what's about to happen and how Bruce is going to react when he sees just how insurmountable this next part is. You know, the elder sage who knows too much, and the vibe was eerie enough already as we see the bones of what looks like Man-Bat. We heard Langstrom's name mentioned in Absolute Zero, but damn, nothing could have prepared me for Absolute Bane popping up, whooping Batman's ass, and then unleashing the sleeper build of all sleeper builds on him, okay? He is a Giga Bane, okay? And the thing is, I really think that this isn't even all that Alfred was referring to. I think ultimately we're going down a route of like, there were systems put in place ages ago to keep the regular working man down. Systems and things that seem far too deep and big to deal with. And I think using Bane to represent that is a brilliant move. Forces that would seek to keep you diminutive and demoralized in order to keep you from fighting them back and catching them in a stroke of luck during a winded moment and besting them, completely reversing the leverage. I can see Absolute Batman going that way, but it's safe to assume, bluntly, that shit is only gonna get crazier from here on out, and I cannot wait. Looks like Batman's gonna get some body mods, but I'm so damn excited. Not only is Superman next week, I already printed my ticket when I went to go watch F1 this past Wednesday. Funny story, before the movie played, there's an actual production company called Plan B that Brad Pitt started like 20 years ago, and some stupid B in my theater saw the logo and out loud just said, yeah, Plan B because I'm pregnant, bitch, which admittedly was pretty damn funny. But that movie went really hard regardless. Highly recommend. All the employees were wearing the new Superman uniforms, and I just can't believe we're days away at this point. But DC fans, we are at such a precipice of greatness, not only only for the movies, but for comics. So I'm just super hyped. Let me know your thoughts on Absolute Batman if you've been reading along as well. And by the time this video drops, issue 10 is probably around the corner. I took my good old Matt Reeves time with this video, players, but I am still aiming for a video a week. I just want to make sure the videos are decent and not bullshit. Well, that's why I'll sometimes take a little longer. Also, let me know how you're feeling about the Absolute Universe so far. I need to catch up on all the other books, admittedly, since I've only really caught up on Absolute Martian Manhunter, which highly recommend as well. That's absolutely it. If you liked the video, leave me a thumbs up, comment down below, and if you want, subscribe. I always appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope all of you guys are well, and I'll see you in the next one.